Welcome to episode 16 of the Small Talk podcast with the Smallegan real estate team. Today we're here with Alissa DeGeorge. Alyssa's been in real estate for a little over a year and already has some great clients that trust her. We're going to start this with a review that someone left for her, and you can respond with how it made you feel or what you thought of the review. So this is the review. So we could not have asked for a better experience than the one we had with Alissa DeGeorge and the entire Smallegan team. From showings to close, Alissa guided us the entire way, and we found our first home. The team at Smallegan gave us a great service and got us through the final steps of close. Couldn't recommend them more. It's a pretty great review, especially since you've only been in real estate for such a short time.
Yeah, no, I mean, hearing that, it made me feel really good. Those clients actually are personal friends of mine, so we go kind of way far back. We have that history. So to know that they trusted me throughout that whole process felt really good. And I know also that move for them was a pretty emotional roller coaster. They went through some family stuff prior to that. So for them to just trust me throughout that whole process was really good.
Would you say, like, getting into real estate, that it's easier to work with people you know because they already kind of trust you on a different level?
Yes and no. I've worked with also personal friends of mine too that have also just been very high maintenance, and to meet those needs sometimes it gets a little stressful and you just want to always make it right. So, I mean, I always want to help everyone I know, but sometimes it can be a lot.
Well, you did it with a smile, I'm sure.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why did you get into this business?
I don't know. Honestly, growing up, I was always watching like HGTV and like trying to flip my parents' house and move furniture around. So then it started with more of like an interior design type of thing. And then I got to know real estate a little bit more, and I just decided to go for it.
Did you like knock down walls or something as a kid?
No, my mom would have beat me.
What about just moving furniture
Yes,
around? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like some kids like cut their hair when growing up,
Yeah.
and you like rearrange the living room.
Yeah, my mom was not happy.
Well, it's better than, I guess, cutting your bangs,
Yeah,
right?
oh, absolutely.
So what was your background before getting into real estate?
Before real estate, I was a full-time student. I started off at Ferris State, and then I ended up at Grand Valley and graduated. And once I graduated, I came to real estate.
What did you do in college? Like, what was that for?
I got a degree in advertising and public relations. So,
Okay.
Yeah, basically like a marketing degree, but
Kind of applies,
yeah,
right?
it definitely does.
So if you could go back to your pre-real estate self, what was some advice that you'd give yourself?
I feel like I'd probably tell myself to just not be so nervous all the time and not overthink things and just kind of go for it. So
Yeah.
take the risk.
I think, just even being in a year now, I'm sure there's some things that you've learned or picked up along the way that
yes.
you're like, now, like, I wish I've known that sooner.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. How do you think you prepared for real estate? Like, what did you do to get into this?
I don't know. I feel like before this, I also, like my job when I was in school, I was always a server or bartender. So because of that, I feel like it taught me a lot of people skills, as I'm always been very personal with people. So I feel like that taught me a lot of how to do customer service and how to make sure my clients are always happy. So I feel like out of everything, that is probably what prepared me most.
Yeah, I think that's true. A lot of times people that are in the service industry actually do really well in real estate. What other things in the service industry would you say kind of translate over to real estate?
I mean, this year I have gotten 3 or 4 clients, houses, just because they're my regulars and I've built that relationship and they've trusted me. So because of that, I've gotten business too. So again,
people trusted you before real estate.
Yes.
So now you're in real estate. They trust you, right? That trust transfers over.
Exactly. Yes.
It's pretty awesome. So what do you think of the current market?
Definitely keeps me on my toes. I mean, I know everyone's biggest thing right now is interest rates are so high, but because of it, I mean, we've been getting houses under asking price. They've been getting their closing costs covered. There's a lot of different ways that you can negotiate different things right now, and I feel like it's giving buyers that advantage, where in the spring the sellers had the advantage. So I feel like it's a good time for buyers.
Have you seen that meme going around where it's like 6 months ago you would have paid for, or the house would have listed for 450 and then would have sold for 500, and today that same $450,000 house will sell for 425, and the payments will almost be the same.
Yes.
Even with interest rates like twice as high.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I seen that and I'm like, really? And I did the math. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And it makes sense because now you can help your clients actually get an under asking offer accepted. And 6 months ago, that was unheard of.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what other things have changed in the market in your like year and a half that you've been in it?
I mean, obviously, it's been like interest rates. I started probably right after COVID, so it was a very interesting time. That's when I was first submitting offers. There was like 30, 40 offers in on a property, whereas now I just got off the phone with the listing agent, and she's like, we have 2 other offers in hand, so let me know. And so I feel like obviously the competition is less stressful, but I mean, the market's continuously changing, so I always gotta keep learning.
Getting into real estate, you joined our team right away, right? You
Yes.
and how did you connect with our team?
So actually, I had a personal friend, Josh Goosen, who is a
Shout out to Josh.
yes, he is an agent at our office,
Yep.
and he just kind of told me, you could do independent or you could do a team, but if you're going to do a team, I have a great guy for you, and he sent me your number, and then we connected, and just all worked out.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can get into real estate, and if an agent or if somebody else is being like totally transparent with you, they're going to give you good advice on different options they can go, even if it's maybe not best for them, right?
Yes.
So that's awesome. Josh is a good dude and crushes it in this business. So do you have any tips for buyers right now?
Trust your agent.
Okay.
Trust your
How
agent.
so? What does that mean?
I just feel like some people, they listen to their parents or their uncle or something, and they're telling them what to do. But also, when they bought a house, the market was completely different. Whereas if you have a good agent, I mean, they're constantly educating themselves on their weekly market changes. So as long as you have a good agent, you just need to trust them and listen to their advice.
Yeah.
So
Well, same thing, right? So a lot has changed in the last year and a half. Well, just imagine how much changed in the last 20 years, right? Maybe the last time their parents bought a house. It's, maybe a little bit easier for buyers to get their offer accepted, but there's still, some give and take with sellers, and you really need to be aware of that. So as a buyer, what's the first steps that they should take when getting to the home buying process?
probably to talk to a lender. And I know I don't like to bring it up right away. I like to bring people out 1 or 2 times and just let them get a feel for, the house market and everything, and give them my advice. But after that, I think getting them connected with a lender and really seeing what their price ranges and everything is very important. I don't want to bring someone out and then find their dream house and then find out that they can't even afford it. So
Yeah, the lender is super important, right? Getting all those boxes checked, and it's easy to get started, but getting to the finish line is a totally different story. Explain the closing process to me. Like, what do you see there?
You mean once we get a house under contract? Yeah. So I mean, after we get a house under contract, we have our inspection period. Things could come up during an inspection period. During that time period, we have room to negotiate, whether it's price, whether it's fixing different things throughout the property. Then after that, we'll usually move on to the next step, which is all the underwriting stuff. And usually it's pretty quiet. We can close anywhere from like 2 weeks to a month. So, I mean, once that's all done with, then we hit the closing table.
Yeah, so if somebody's thinking about moving in December, right, to work that backwards, and do they actually want to be in their house in December, or do they want to start the process of moving in December, right? Can it take anywhere from 30 to 90 days depending on the house, right?
Yeah, and depending on their loan type too. You just never know what's going to come up.
So do you grow up in the Grand Rapids area?
I did not. I grew up on the east side of Michigan. I've lived in Grand Rapids now for about 5.5 years, and I love it.
Why did you choose Grand Rapids as a place to live and work?
I originally went to Big Rapids for Ferris, and I was working down here, so I was commuting like 4 or 5 times a week, and then I just kind of realized that I wanted to be closer to a city. There's just more to do, so I made the move to Grand Rapids, and I just haven't left.
What do you do here?
I do real estate.
That's it? Like, what other things do you like to do in Grand Rapids? I know you have a dog.
Yes.
What other hobbies or interests do you have?
So yeah, my dog's my baby. We walk a lot. We do a lot of parks. We do beaches. We just go explore Grand Rapids. Me and my friends will go out and do dinners at different restaurants. I feel like there's always a new restaurant coming to Grand Rapids, so that gives us something to do. I like to shop.
Where's your favorite place to take your dog?
Probably Proven, actually.
Where's that?
That one is going to be right next to Robinette's on 4 Mile.
Okay.
So we like to walk that. It's just a cute little park. It's got a sand dune in the middle. It's really pretty in the fall. So it's close to home, too. It's like a 5-10 minute drive for me. So we like to go there. Or we'll even do the beaches in Grand Haven, which is fun. I believe they allow dogs after like 5 p.m. So that's always fun. Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
What about restaurants? Like, what's your favorite restaurant that you've been to lately?
Probably Butcher's Union.
Really?
It's always my favorite
That's a
restaurant.
lot of my friends' favorites.
It's just so cool. It's such a neat place. I don't know. The drinks, the food, everything about it. It's a lot of fun.
So what area in Grand Rapids do you live?
I live Creston area.
Okay. What do you like about Creston?
I just feel like I'm very in like a suburb neighborhood. There are a lot of families. Everyone's nice. I live by all the parks. I live right by Riverside Park. There's Creston Brewery, which just reopened. I'm right by downtown, so I feel like there's a ton to do over there.
Yeah. So if being a transplant, right, somebody moved from a different area to Grand Rapids and this is your home now, what would you say to somebody else that's maybe coming to Grand Rapids and wants to do the same thing? Like, how would you describe this city we live in?
There's just always something to do. Like, just don't sit inside and, like, I don't know, be nervous to go explore. I just feel like I did that for the first, like, year and a half that I was here. I just was like, oh, there's just too much. It just overwhelmed me. But then once I put myself out there, it's just such a fun city. And there's always people doing things or different events going on. So I like it.
So what would the top 3 restaurants in Grand Rapids be for you?
Okay, I like Portico, which is a newer one. Their food is really, really good. I like a Mexican place in front of, what's it called? El Agave. It's right in front of the Score, actually. You would never think it was that good, but it is really good. And I like Roses in East Grand Rapids.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, the first two, I have no idea what those are, so I'm going to have to check them out.
You should, for sure.
I learned something in this podcast, so thanks for that. If you could live in a different area of town, is there any other area where you would say, like, that's where I'd rather live?
East Grand Rapids.
Okay. What do you like about there?
It's just so pretty. The houses are also different. There's a mixture of older houses, newer houses. I feel like they always have, like, football games going on over there at the football field.
Yeah.
They have shops. They have everything, and it's a really neat area to walk around to.
Yeah, super walkable over there. Yeah. I like Roses over there. That's that and steakhouse, Bodie's.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Those are my 2 favorite places in East. But what would your dream house look like if you were to get that house in East Grand Rapids?
I would love a farmhouse.
Farmhouse in East Grand Rapids?
Farmhouse. I want white siding, black roofing, and I want the big wooden beams.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, you got it figured out, right?
I do.
Okay. So do you think you're in the right career to own that dream house?
I absolutely do. I mean, this job is just so flexible. I mean, you can make doctor money doing this. You just have to put in the time and the effort, and it pays off.
Yeah. That's something that, did you get that from me? Like, I've definitely said that before. Maybe. Okay. What is the biggest positive of being an independent contractor?
I mean, it's nice you make your own schedule. Something pops up and you have to be there. I mean, it's usually, you might have to reschedule a meeting or a showing or move your time blocks around. But for the most part, if something does come up, you can usually take care of that. So I like that. Okay.
What are some of the other perks? Do you get to travel with that? Do you do any traveling?
Oh, yeah. Like, I've gotten to know Grand Rapids so much. And I mean, I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why I have gotten out and learned a lot. And that the different events, just because I'm constantly driving all of Grand Rapids. I've learned Holland. I've learned Zealand. Places I never would have ventured out by myself. And because of this job, I've learned a lot. So
yeah, it's that's one of the big things for me, right? Always learning and always learning something new, meeting new people, and just what's one thing that maybe I should have asked you that I didn't?
I don't know. Maybe. What is my favorite thing about being on the team, which is honestly the people I got to know. I don't know. Like, it sounds cheesy, but I love every single person that I work with. It's so nice to be able to go to each other and be like, hey, I have a question about this, or can you help me with this? And I feel like everyone's always willing, and I just love being a part of the team. I appreciate you being part of the team. So how could our podcast viewers, get in touch with you if they wanted to have your amazing service and smile help them buy their next house? So, we have the Meet My Team page on our website. So my number and all my contact information is on there. So they can feel free to give me a call or a text or an email, and I will gladly help them. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. And I hope our viewers got a chance to know you a little bit more. And thanks to our viewers for tuning in. And make sure you subscribe and like our podcast. Thank you. All right. Thanks, Alissa. Bye.